Hi everyone. From today I'm starting with a new series of videos that will explain something known as Incoterms. Incoterms, if you don't know what it means, it stands for International Commercial Terms. Now, if you have been studying maritime law, whether as a mariner or for any kind of maritime law exam, it is important that you become familiar with these terms. These Incoterms, which have been updated in 2020, are used in international trade. They are used in international trade to reduce or remove the uncertainties that arise from the interpretation or the different interpretation of rules in different countries. These terms are incorporated into sales contracts. They are accepted by governments, legal authorities, and trade practitioners worldwide. Incoterms is published by ICC. ICC stands for International Chamber of Commerce, and these Incoterms are related to the international commercial law. They are used widely in the international transactions of goods by trade councils, courts, and international lawyers. Incoterms issues three-letter trade terms that are used to define sales contract of goods. Mainly, these terms define the respective obligations, cost, risks involved in the delivery of goods right from the seller's door to the buyer. Now, as I've told you before, that these Incoterms are very important if you are studying any kind of subject that is associated with maritime law. These Incoterms do not themselves conclude a contract, but they determine the price payable, the currency or credit terms that govern contract law or define where title to goods are transferred. In today's Incoterms, I will start with X-Works. X-Works stands for EXW, or rather EXW is the three-letter notation as denoted by the International Chamber of Commerce. And X-Works means that there is a seller who has the goods ready in his or her factory in a deliverable state. They are ready to be delivered to the buyer. The seller delivers the goods by keeping it ready in a deliverable state at a place like a factory or a godown or the manufacturing unit. In this X-Works, there is lesser obligation on seller as compared to the buyer. The obligation on buyer is the maximum. The seller keeps the goods ready in deliverable state. However, he is not responsible for clearing the goods for exports or loading onto the vehicle. The seller is responsible for the loss or damage to goods until it is being delivered to the buyer or the buyer's representative. The seller's obligation will be to only provide the goods of agreed quality along with the necessary invoice and documents. In this X-Works, the buyer bears all the necessary cost and risks in taking the goods from the seller's premises. So the buyer then bears the cost and risk taking the goods from the seller's factory or the godown or the manufacturing unit to wherever he or she intends to take them. It is the buyer's responsibility, and the buyer will pay the agreed price of the goods and also arrange for the export license if there is any kind of international or local export involved. Once the seller delivers the goods to the buyer and the buyer is now taking the goods from the seller's factory to different places, it is the buyer's responsibility and the risk is transferred to the buyer. The buyer will bear all risks or loss of damages to goods from the moment the goods have been delivered. In case the delivery date or any period is fixed and the seller has appropriated clearly goods in identified condition, then upon the expiry of the said date, the risk gets transferred to the buyer. So this is the first Incoterm I explained, and this is called Works or EXW. If you find these videos useful, I will keep making videos on different Incoterms. There are a few Incoterms, I think about 12 or 14 of the Incoterms, and I want to take one Incoterm at a time and explain it simply to you so that you can remember the important distinction of responsibilities between the seller and buyer, so that you can answer questions related to this term in the exams. Let me know what you thought about this video, and I look forward to your feedback and comments. Thank you for watching, and bye.